Because you've taught me about the multi-agent model, I will not deploy one agent for writing. I will deploy multiple sub-agents and then connect them to the CEO, the lead writer. These sub-agents will be allocated the following tasks. Agent number one will be topic scouter. I will tell the topic scouter that Think School is a business school on the internet. We make geopolitical, economical, political, and business case studies. Then I will give the topic scouter access to Twitter, access to my YouTube comments data, access to YouTube trends, maybe Economic Times, Hindustan Times, and several other newspapers, and maybe some international news channels like BBC, Ground News, and so on and so forth. Once that is done, then I will ask the topic scouter to find the most relevant subject according to the Twitter trend today or the Google trend today so that I can get maximum viewership. And I will also give it a constraint that it must only pick topics that might possibly have a 1 week media cycle so that I have time for production. Am I thinking right over here?
The way you've divided the scope and looking at specialized agents within the system, you've reduced the scope of error.
Perfect. Then I will place an orchestrator in between. This orchestrator will understand all the titles suggested by the topic scouter and then evaluate whether that title is relevant for Think School or not. Only if it is relevant, it will then pass on this title to a research agent. Is this correct? So orchestrator between two agents. Once this data is received by the research agent, this research agent will then have again access to the news channels, all the research documents like WHO articles or WHO research papers, market research papers, or World Bank research papers, using which it will then collate data sets and stories that can then be written into a YouTube content piece. Then after this process is done, it will then go to the copywriter who will then write the piece of content in the most lucrative way possible with the right hooks, with the right storytelling, with the right analogies. And again, here it'll have access to all my scripts and maybe my communication masterclass where I've taught all these frameworks. And after it writes everything properly, it will then go to a compliance agent maybe again to check if everything has been written properly. After this is done, the output is prepared and then the output is given to the lead writer who does all the quality check. And after the quality check is done, it then goes to the editor.
Why do you need to do it?
But then what's the purpose of the lead writer? What's the purpose of the CEO?
Do you need one? Is a question that you need to ask. The moment you're trying to create a system, what we have learned is that it has changed the process. It has changed the flow because it doesn't operate like how you usually think as humans do. So exactly the question of, do I need this now? Because if it is already compliant, if it has been asked to write something which is always going to be compliant, then I don't need a compliant check after that.
Maybe then it will do a viewership check, whether this content piece will generate enough viewership or not. And if it doesn't cross a certain threshold, then maybe the loop can start all over again, where it will then ask the topic scouter to find another title and then carry out the entire process.
Yes. Now, this is exactly the way it behaves for us when we are making creatives. It comes with a score to tell us whether this creative is going to give you the CTRs, the historical CTRs, and it's going to be better or not. So it's more of a probabilistic output that comes along with the creative output that it has. So it will reduce the errors that one would have otherwise had. So to your point, yes, you could always have a prediction come to you on whether this episode is going to be viewed or not. But it's always going to be built on the past.
Guys, इसको ना थोड़ा सा मैं simplify कर देता हूँ. You see, when you build an agent, you have to keep 3 important things in mind. Let's say you're building a customer support agent with Perplexity skills. Now you can't just say, hello, just handle my support emails, Perplexity. You have to feed the agent with as much context as you would provide to an intern. So for a customer support agent, you have to design it with 3 very specific layers which you would anyways explain to a customer support agent, as in a human customer support agent. So, firstly, you need to define very clearly as to what counts as a bug and what counts as a feature request. So, if you're using a CRM or if you're automating customer support, you have to do for the agent exactly what you would do for a human. So, you would spell out what is P1, P2, P3, and P4 query. In other words, you will tell the agent what is truly urgent, what can wait, what is nice to have, and what is absolutely irrelevant. The agent cannot invent this logic by itself. You have to tell it to the agent. Secondly, you need decision rules for confusion and prioritization. So the agent must know if two emails talk about the same issue, how do I avoid double logging it? If one email is a critical outage and another email is a UI suggestion, which one do I escalate first and which one do I send to a human in the loop? These conditions are what prevent the AI from mixing up threads, spamming tickets, or escalating the wrong things. Thirdly, you should wire it into your existing tools using connectors. For example, you can connect Perplexity with systems like Zoho Desk, Gmail, or Odoo CRM so that the agent doesn't just answer questions in theory, it actually reads real tickets, classifies them, updates your support tool, and hands edge cases only to humans. That is how you move from a toy demo to a real workflow. So please try this out on Perplexity. And look at this, if you want to build an AI agent for customer support with Perplexity skills, the recipe is very simple, but it is very strict. Number one, you have to use connectors to give it access to CRM like Zoho Desk, Odoo CRM, Gmail, or whatever support stack you have. Secondly, you need to be extremely specific with instructions, like I mentioned before. And thirdly, you need to start from a solid base instruction set, and then you have to keep on refining and layering more and more rules as you see real world edge cases. And the more precise you are with these instructions, the more reliable the agent becomes. And over time, you can move from an AI that sometimes helps to an AI that quietly runs most of your support in the background. That is how you give the AI all the instructions, all the access, and then keep improving on the basis of its output and use cases. If this clip gave you value, please subscribe to this channel so that we can keep bringing you game-changing business insights.